Welcome to the Randy Report. I'm Randy Slavacek, your host. I'm also the writer and editor of the randyreport.com, where you can find me every single day on the internet reporting on the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Today, I'm chatting with Lukesavant, a California-based electronic pop artist, producer, songwriter, and longtime figure within the online remix culture. For more than 25 years, he has created unofficial Madonna remixes and reinterpretations, while also cultivating one of the internet's most enduring underground Madonna remix communities through Remixers United, a fan-driven platform and social network that has connected remixers and music fans worldwide for over 13 years. But now, he's releasing his own debut album titled Last Night Wasn't Love. The new collection of original songs was developed over several months as a cohesive, late-night narrative rather than a collection of standalone singles. Inspired heavily by his years living in San Francisco, Lukesavant's music blends atmospheric electronic production with emotionally cinematic songwriting, exploring themes of nightlife, connection, longing, identity, and emotional distance. Drawing from both underground electronic influences and contemporary pop songwriting, his work balances restrained vocal intimacy with modern synth-driven production. Combining traditional songwriting instincts with evolving digital production techniques and modern AI-assisted workflows, the project reflects a hybrid approach to contemporary independent music creation, while remaining rooted in personal storytelling and emotional realism. He's released the first single, Let You Go, today. The track introduces the album's moody, nocturnal atmosphere and sets the tone for a record shaped by his memories as a young gay man in the big city, encapsulating vulnerability and fleeting human connection. Let's take a listen to Let You Go, and then we'll chat with Lukesavant.
You stay right there, I didn't move. You stayed right there, you kept it real. Felt it start, didn't feel. Held it back, kept control. Let it pass, let it go. I knew it then. You didn't leave, I just didn't begin. I should've just let it happen. Right where you were, right there with me. I stayed in control. I held it too close, and maybe that's why I had to let you go. You gave me space, you let it breathe. Didn't ask anything from me. Called it time, called it sense, but I was just avoiding it. You stayed calm, I disappeared. You held it open, I stayed unclear. I should've just let it happen. Right where you were, right there with me. I stayed in control. I held it too close, and maybe that's why I had to let you go. You didn't leave, I didn't start. Should've just let it happen. I stayed
Lukesavant as I live and breathe. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
By the way, now I have to admit, we've known each other for forever, and I know you as Channing, but I'm interviewing today as music artist Lukesavant. What should I call you on this podcast?
Go ahead and call me Channing. It's okay.
But for everyone listening, when you look for Channing's music, you will be looking for Lukesavant. Now, we're here today because you have your debut concept album, which I think this is fabulous. You have been remixing and creating music for more than 20 years.
Yes.
What was the inspiration to create your own brand new concept album, which by the way is brilliant because I love that it has an arc. We'll get to that. But tell me about the new project.
So back in my 20s, I had a fun time living in San Francisco. And I think everybody that I can interact with says, yeah, the 90s were a lot of fun. I mean, we had Y2K, which freaked everybody out, but I was there mid 90s to the early 2000s. And let me tell you, the times I had were fun, so much so that by the time I was 28, I was ready to settle down. I was good. Got it all out of my system. And
That's how to do it.
And blink later, and I'm married with child. But what I always found was that I felt like there were always stories to tell, or things that I felt like I wanted to get off of my chest about how I felt about things that I went through during that time frame that I just wanted to say and I wanted to get out of me. And this was my medium. I do music, and that's just what I felt was a really good way. So I've been really pushing this as it's a look back for me of my life and time spent in San Francisco and the experiences I had. And this is just part one. There's going to be a part two. I think.
All right.
I'm going to wrap it up with a part two, maybe in a year or so.
You know, I recently interviewed DJ Bill Bennett, who started with what was going to be a standalone album called DILF, and then it became DILF Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And he was looking back on his life and sharing some things personal, but the more he wanted to tell the story, it became a bigger project, and the one album just didn't do it for him.
I agree. It's sometimes, I mean, you spend that much time in a city and have, those many people and you have those many experiences and so many breakups and good times and whatever it is. And to encapsulate it in, which I think is a lot of songs, 12 songs on my album, which is called Last Night Wasn't Love, is a lot. And I had friends say, please don't do any more songs. There were originally 16 songs. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, some songs didn't make the cut. They might come up on the next one or might pop up as a little bonus track here and there. But right now, 12 tracks really encapsulates what I wanted to say, at least for right now.
When you say encapsulates, because you've shared with me that there's an arc to the album. More and more artists are re-emphasizing something that used to be something back in the day. Even just the order of songs for an album by Olivia Newton-John back in the 70s, they would order the songs because it felt like this took you on a journey. Now, this is like that idea times 10, because listening to Last Night Wasn't Love, which I love the title, by the way, you feel that there is an arc, and you have kind of like emotional concepts to like an act 1, an act 2, and an act 3 with the album. So as we listen to it, we don't just, oh, that hot guy last night, ding, 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 ding. No, right. There's a whole thing to this.
There is. I struggled with the first track in my act 1, so to speak, which is, it's really just about diving into the exploration of being me, being in the city. And there's this thing that I had about almost having what I want or being next to somebody that I'm longing for, so to speak. And I almost have this, but it's just not quite there yet. And I made this song actually about 5 months ago. I didn't like it and I set it aside. And I had a completely different song with somewhat of a similar theme. Sometimes when you hear these things for months and months, you go, yep, that works, or nope. In the end, I'm struggling. If I skip it, I'm going to expect everybody else to skip it. So for me, I landed and I went back through some of my old tracks and almost just kept popping back up. So I reworked it a bit. And then here we go. And it leads right into really a hookup song, which is 1:17 a.m.
Which I love, yeah. I love that.
I had a friend of mine, and he was going through, his name is Remixers DJ nephew, and he was going through this. He's like, what are you doing up at 1:17 a.m.? He didn't know what the concept was yet. And I said, it's a look back album. He's like, oh, okay. Because yeah, you need to be in bed. I know. He's like, I know how old you are. Like, yeah, I know. So it was definitely something where I could explore the fun early days or the fun aspects of being out in the city and having fun and just being gay and loving it. I mean,
Right.
I came out when I was 20 years old, and the next
In San
day,
Francisco.
no, I
No.
didn't. This is the thing. I came out like middle of the year. I was born in January. So middle of the year when I was 20, I came out. Then 21, I was 20 one day. I turned 21 the next day. And then the next day I moved to San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
and so it
hello
began.
world, here we go. And so it
That's
began.
it.
So I grew up there. I grew up there as a young adult. Yeah, it was hard. I had ups and downs and things like that, but it was a lot of fun. And so the early part of this record is really kind of that fresh part of
Possibilities.
And then what I think is love. And that's the third song. Velvet Echo is just right there. It's a full love song. And I wanted that song to be dreamy, and it really is. And that's why I really focus on that song. And I didn't intend for Velvet Echo to be a single, which I kind of have all my singles lined up, but Velvet Echo was not going to be part of one. And I'll be honest, I had a moment last night where I almost started break down crying because I was wrapping the album up in terms of all my audio. And I have something special planned for that video that I need to really develop. And I'm thinking I'm going to really talk about or show really in a video the pureness of just LGBTQ plus love. A lot of people want to talk about our stories as being traumatic, or it's good, or it's this, but it's not real. No, I don't want that. And I want this song to be something powerful. I was telling Joe, my husband, last night, I don't need to be as amazing as Billy Porter walking down the Oscars carpet in Kristen Siriano gown, although that's nice. But I can have my moment. I can do what I need to do, which makes me feel really good about who I am and my representation. And that's really where that song is going to land for me. And I hope the visuals I end up with are going to do that justice.
So you start with the idea of possibilities, initial attraction. The second act is what happens after that all begins, right? Or to use a word you shared with me, consequences, which I love. And that's the next few songs. We're taking this journey with you. And then at the end, you kind of get on the other side and there's reflection.
Yes, there is. So for me, I think we've all had that moment in life where we have that great big love and loss. That's where we start to creep in here. And it actually redefined me, I'd say pretty much for the rest of my life. This was one of the relationships that allowed me to learn from a lot of mistakes in my life that I was doing, whether it was the way I was talking to people, the way I engage with people. It didn't end well for me. It was painful. It was traumatic. And thank God I had my 519 Faxon crew, which is who I dedicated the album to. That was the address I lived at, which please don't go stalk the address. Nobody lives there. But I mean, this is 25 years ago. Right in there, 25, 30 years ago. I always had a group of solid friends and roommates. I mean, back then it was the same, and I'm sure it is now. If you can't afford to live in the city, you have umpteen roommates. So we had a really big house, and they kept me safe when I crumbled. I couldn't ask for anything better. So the second arc is really about going through it, being heartbroken, being young, and picking up the pieces and getting through it.
I totally relate to all of that. And then the third act is really about healing after that, or understanding what it is you've been through. Because that's the thing a lot of people don't realize is once you've been through that hurt, then there's understanding why the hurt.
You should. That's hopeful.
You should. Because the same thing happened to me at 21, 22. Same thing happened to me, but I didn't know it at the time personally. I did say to myself, what do I do to fix this so I never have to go through this again? Those are basically the 3 steps of being an adult, is the idea of the possibilities, the consequences, and then the clarity.
Yeah.
All of this is so listenable in the new album for me. I have to ask, there is some AI assist on this album.
Yes.
This is where music is going. This is your voice singing. Some people have opinions about this. Personally, I embrace the idea of AI to a degree in that these are Lukesavant songs. This is Lukesavant singing. This is you creating this music. If there was a computer
Yes.
program over there creating all of this from the beginning and saying, Hal, open the deck door from Space Odyssey 2000, that would kind of worry me. But tell me about working as someone who has created music for over 20 years. Tell me about working in an AI assisted workspace.
Well, it was a challenge. I made a decision. I think I made a decision about a year ago before we even started the album to stop hating AI. I had to consciously make that choice because I really, really it's a bandwagon. Really, and most people are on it. Most people are on, oh, it's a musician. You should respect the musician, which you always should. And I will only listen to music that's performed by real humans. The problem is most people don't know they're already listening to
They
something
already are.
that's AI generated or AI created and actually has been around for a very, very long time. I tell people all the time, hey, you remember that amazing hit song by Cher called Believe?
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't naturally sing like that. So
Exactly.
that was an AI tool that was used on her vocal, and nobody seemed to have an issue with it then. So we have
Right.
more of an influx of AI as it relates to production processes, actual tools, and sometimes, which I think is where people get into their maybe negative aspect, is duplication of things or synthesis of things. And if you know how to utilize that as a tool, then you're golden. So yes, all of these are my vocals, and I've been remixing Madonna for 25 years unofficially. I know what I'm doing outside of AI. So I made a choice, and I just decided, yeah, I just made a choice. I'm going to stop hating on it and start seeing where can it help me. And it really helped me with getting to my confidence of putting my own vocals on my final track. It is me singing. Every inflection, every direction of the vocal, everything is mine. It's just, does anybody want to hear a crack here on that one lyric, or any other item that might be an imperfection? Yes, there's life in that, and there's goodness there, but at the end of the day, that's not what I wanted to put out. I wanted to put out something where you're going to enjoy it, but still hear my timbre and hear my inflection and hear what I wanted out of the vocal, and it actually have a vocal identity that would be mine.
Yeah.
And so that's what I worked on, and that's what we got.
Because I was about a year ago, there was a part of me, oh, I have to hate AI because it's not live artists. It is live artists. It's live artists telling it what to do, utilizing it to whatever extent. And I tell people all the time, they've been doing special effects in movies for years, decades. That really wasn't E.T. in the movie. I mean, come on, y'all. But every entertainment field, every technology field moves forward and it becomes the next step. You're still the humanity behind this. You're still coming up with the lyrics and the melodies and the voice and everything. Now, I will say this, just to postscript on the AI thing. I didn't know this until I heard from another artist. Spotify apparently has a lot of totally created AI tracks because they want to fill their playlists. They realize a lot of music gets listened to and played in the background, and people want to hear like that vibe just in the background kind of thing. And so Spotify pays out all of its dividends in an equal manner, depending on how many plays were here, there, everywhere, on the playlist, not on the playlist. Long story short, basically a lot of the music on those playlists is Spotify created AI music because it sounds like it's what's supposed to be there. And that's what people want. They want their background music. Now, Lukesavant music is not background music. You're an artist. So is it actually happening somewhere? Yeah, there on Spotify. Yeah. But real artists like you are using this as a tool, and I think it sounds great. I love the album. I thought it's totally listenable. I listened to it like 3 times in a row when you sent it to me. I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I do have to ask you a question because you are my expert on all things Madonna. The last time we spoke, you remixed the entire Confessions on a Dance Floor.
2022.
2022. Well, our Madge is about to do it again. And so I know you've heard some of Confessions 2.
I heard a new one today.
Was it bizarre?
It was bizarre.
Garrix. Yes. Oh, look at us. We're like,
insane. I know.
What do you think?
Okay, I've said this to many people. The only person that's stopping Madonna from having a hit record is Madonna.
Yeah.
Okay. The woman can put a hit record out the moment she decides to do it. If you look back in 7 years ago when Madame X, her last album came out, it's a very niche record. It's a world beat kind of record. It was not commercial. We made it number one because we hadn't had anything for her in a while. But what she's doing right now is delivering. she's doing exactly what Madonna does best. It's insane. The rollout, the music, the vibe, the look, it's like heaven. If this is a heaven moment. We haven't had this in a long time. And she doesn't care that you think that she might be a certain age. She doesn't care that you don't like her look. She doesn't care. She's doing exactly what she's always done. And she's pushing boundaries. So soak it up. Just soak it up. It's great. I can't wait.
That's really been my thought about what I've heard from her, and her attitude in sharing the music is, well, it's not new for Madonna to not give a shit what other people think.
Exactly.
Because that's part of what we love about her.
Yep.
But I have loved the rollout of how this is happening. And I can't wait to hear the whole thing, because I'm sure, again, so many people are used to radio play and singles, all of that kind of mindset. But actual artists, as we're talking about your album having an arc, there's a reason why these songs are in this order. I'm sure Madonna's put the same thought into this album. I mentioned DJ Bill Bennett, who I interviewed a few months ago. He was very specific in telling his story in a certain order. People don't realize that there's that much thought to it. And she's ready to put herself right back on the top of the charts, which she will.
Oh, yes.
But I was curious to hear what you thought, having as it's kind of just leaking out a bit. I mean, we've heard, what, 3 or 4 songs now, I think?
Oh, we had six songs from the movie that
the
came
movie
out.
thing. Yes.
It's actual film, which I hope she submits that for a short film for awards. So we've had Love Sensation, which would be number 7, and now Bizarre, 8 songs out of 16 max on the deluxe. And I've decided, someone on my team for Remixers United, which is my label that I'm putting my record through, has said, hey, are you going to remix Madonna's Love Sensation? I said, you know what? I'm not going to remix anything until I have some time to really fall in love with the album. I'm just going to fall in love with it. There's a lot of noise of remixes out there that are unfortunately not the best AI stuff, and they're all sounding the same. I'm going to back off. I'm going to give it a minute. But yes, I'll do Confessions too also.
Excellent. Awesome news. I'm going to bring this to a close, but I have to say, I love the new album. The first track is coming out today that I'm dropping this podcast episode, June 26th.
Let You Go.
Let You Go.
That's right.
And then the entire album drops July 17th, correct?
That is correct.
And we will have a pre-save link on the podcast notes so that people can pre-save it. I highly recommend it, folks. This is extremely listenable. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's just really, really great music. And I hear a lot of music. What a lot of people don't always know about me and the interviews that I choose to do, I get about 100 pitches a day for the Randy Report and for the podcast. I interview the people that I'm really interested in, that I think is good, the stuff that I think is terrific. And the answer is, if I don't like something, I'm not here to ruin anyone's dream, so I just don't cover it. That's my answer.
Well, it's polite as well.
Nobody needs me to pull them down. So maybe it was their dream, not mine. So the guests that I have on the podcast, the artists that I write on the reinterpretations.com, are the things that I liked. I have to actually like it. And I really like this new album. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your music. It's you, your story. I just think it's terrific.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks again to Lukesavant for sharing about his new album, out July 17th. Let's take a listen to the title track, Last Night Wasn't Love.
Misread the signal, I filled in the gaps, called a connection when it just reacted. Something moved fast, something felt loud. Intensity isn't depth, it doesn't teach you how. No blame, no aftermath, nothing broke in me. I just stopped assigning meaning automatically. Ooh. Last night felt true. Last night felt close, but feeling something doesn't make it love. It passed through me, left no mark, no future in it, no spark. Last night wasn't love. Last night wasn't love. Clarity doesn't arrive like a scene or a sound. It just removes weight. Suddenly I'm on the ground. I didn't lose control. I didn't give too much. I named it wrong. That was enough. Last night was a moment, nothing more. Not a door, not a floor. It didn't stay, it didn't ask, it didn't reach past the glass. Last night wasn't love. Last night wasn't love.
And that brings me to the end of this episode of the Randy Report. If you enjoy catching up on LGBTQ news in a quick podcast, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends. And hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. I like to think of the Randy Report as the 60 minutes of gay news, only shorter. And remember, you can find me every single day on the internet at therandyreport.com, where I cover the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Happy Pride Month! Thanks for listening, folks. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.